It's time for another Dice Tower review with Z. Garcia.
Hey folks, several years ago, Z-Man Games published a game called Traders of Carthage. This is it right here. And the game was a very interesting game. It came out, a few people played it, and then it went out of print and it was vanished for a long time. And so Z-Man has finally decided to reprint the game with a whole new look, in fact, basically a whole new theme, as Traders of Osaka. Is the game any good? Has the game held up? Was it worthy of coming back into print? Let me show you an overview of how the game plays. I'm not going to give you every little detail, but I'll give you an overview, and then I'll tell you what I think of this one. Here I'm going to be showing you a game with two players. At the beginning of the game, we are going to flip 5 cards in here, which is the present market, basically. And then I'm going to be flipping 3 in here, which represents the future market. And then each player is going to get a certain amount of cards in their hand. Basically, we're going to be flipping into their hand until the value of the cards you have is 8 or higher. And then we stop, and whoever has the smallest amount in their hand will be the start player. So I'm going to be flipping for myself here as first, and so I have 3 there, 2 is 5, 2 more is 7, and that does it. And then for the other player, 3, 6, and 5. They have 11, I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so I will start the game from now on. Our hands remain hidden. I'm going to put the deck here, and so the way the game works is we are going to be playing for most victory points. At the end of the game, every card you've been able to bank face down like this and put aside will be a victory point. And on your turn, you can do one of 3 things. You can buy goods, you can take coins, or you can reserve a card. When you take coins, it's very simple. You're going to pick one of the cards down here. I know you can't see the last one here, so I'm going to put them like so. You can take one and put it in your hand, which counts as points. In your hand, these cards pretty much are just money. 3, 2, 2, 3. And so I'll take this one. Put it in my hand. That's money. Second option is I can buy cards, buy goods. At that point, these cards would represent the good that is seen in the middle there. And the cost is the total cost of what's in the market. You have to buy all of it or none of it. When you buy, you get it all. And so, when someone takes a card as money, they are reducing what it costs to buy all the cards. So if I had taken that green card, and then let's say my opponent takes this card, for example, then on my turn I could spend 6 and buy all that. So 3 and 3 here, I would discard these 2, I would buy all this, and there's more that happens after that. I'll talk about that in a second. Third option is I can reserve a card. I take this, I put it on any one card still out there in the current market or the future market, and my opponent cannot buy that card, cannot take that card, and in fact, if they're planning to buy out the market, let's put it here, they don't even take it into account. They would be able to buy this current market for 4, 2 and 2. This one doesn't even count for them. On my turn, I could take this card as money, at which point I get this back, or when I buy the market, I have to include that card in the market. So, back to what happens when I buy a card, or all the goods here. Let's say that's what happened. I'm going to buy all the goods. I already spent my 6. I take these 3, put them in front of me, and then the ships carrying these move forward. And they are over here, as you can see. Let me give you a closer look there at those ships. And so I have green, which would move 1 to here, and blue, which would move 1 to here, and then red, 1. If I had bought 2 goods of the same color, then it would move 1 more. If I had bought 2 blue, blue would move 1 more space. At most 2. Even if I buy 4 blue, it still only moves 2 spaces, okay? So, how do you make points in this game? Whenever a ship gets all the way to Edo, then that ship sells. And you are going to sell your goods that you have in front of you, and I'm going to grab some fake goods here. Let's say this is what I have. When blue arrives, then both players are going to sell. And you are going to calculate what the value of your blue is by having the highest numbered one, 3, times the number of cards, and then you are going to round up to the nearest 5. So 5, 15, 20, okay? And so 3 times 2 cards is 6, rounded up to 10. Each card is going to represent 5 points when I score it. So 5, 10. And I put them under my scoring token here to represent that I've scored them. And at the end of the game, each one of these basically is just a point, and whoever has the most cards banked is the winner. And so you can see how these cards go up to 5, by the way. Having this set in front of me here when the yellow ship arrives, I would do 5 times 3 is 15. I get them all. However, every time a ship makes a sale, you get one of these tokens. You keep it in front of you. And from now on, every time you sell in that color, you add this to the highest card. So it would be 6 times 3, which is 18. Round up to 20. 1, 2, 3. I need one more card. Right? Because it's 5, 10, 15, 20. And I would bank all of those. As soon as the ship has come in and sold, everybody's squared up. If you sold any of that color, you get one of these, and the ship goes back to Osaka. Everybody else stays where they are, except any ship in these 2 spaces are caught by the waves. And here's what happens to them. If you have any of that, let's say I had these 2 unsold cards. When yellow came in, I sold yellow here, and yellow went back, and now we got to deal with this blue. Normally I lose all of it. I just lose it. We discard it. I do have a chance, however, to save it, and that's where these symbols here come in play. If I can discard a card that is the same color as the goods I'm trying to save, and these symbols here appear twice on the 2s, once on the 3 card. I discard that. That means I can save 2 goods. I'll take these and put them sideways, meaning they are safe, they are locked, and I don't have to worry about losing them to the waves again, and anything in these 2 spaces resets, but just to here. Alright? And then again, if anybody else makes it in, they go back, anybody here gets caught by the wave, and resets to there. That's basically the flow of the game. You keep going, doing that, until somebody has 8 of these. And that's the trigger at the end of the game. Once you're done selling, you count up the cards in your score pile. Whoever has the most cards in that pile is the winner of the game. As you might be able to tell from the fact that I still own my Traders of Carthage, Traders of Osaka is a great game. It is identical to the old one, except in look. And I have always been a fan of this one. I think it's an awesome card game. It's quirky for sure. It has a very strange rhythm with when you reserve cards. And understanding that action and when to do it sort of separates the people that just dabble in the game from the connoisseurs. Not that I'm saying I am one, but I know understanding that action is really key to doing well in the game. I do prefer the game with 2 players and then 3, lastly 4. I think it just gives you a little more control in the game. But it's an excellent game. I really love it. Once you understand how the scoring works, which is the tricky part of it, then you are off and running, and you're going to have a great time with this card game. Big recommendation from me. Traders of Osaka is a game that, if you like card games at all, belongs in your collection. Check this one out. Do not let it go out of print again without giving it a try. Hopefully it'll stick around for a long time. Traders of Osaka.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.